Okay, so see, let's have this by the side. Okay, so welcome to another Flutter class. I think this happens to be the last class for this month. Yes, tomorrow begins a new day in another month. All right, so I remember we stopped in our last class talking about Git and GitHub. Yeah, so I just needed to only show and tell you what you needed to know basically. But in the course of this class today, I think we'll still do a little bit of exercise in that area. So today we're going to be looking at navigating between screens. All right. So I'm going to be building additional screens to this register screen. And then those screens are going to be splash screen, login screen, and then a home page. All right, so that when the user signs up and clicks on register, successfully registered, and then leads to the home page. The home page will be having a navigation button bar, yes, with icons to be able to switch between screens. So we'll see how that goes. So in order to do that, I'm going to be creating this form validation. Let's say I add a login here. Let me add a login .dat file. And then I'll add another folder. We'll call it screens. Screens. And inside the screens, we'll have splash screen, the Dart, and the next screen will have the home screen. Home screen. Based on what I have in mind to teach today, let's see if we can have more like an onboarding screen. Just one onboarding screen. Yeah, I think that should do. So we have in this form validation, we have, or in our library, we have form validation, which contains register and login. And then in our screens, we have homepage screen, onboarding, splash screen. All right, so in our main file, where's our main now? Okay, I think we actually did this, so we're gonna bring that back. We're gonna bring back our main. Instead of starting from this register, because I think, yeah, starting from here. So I'll take this off this screen. And bring it here. Let's just use it here. Okay. And then go import the library. All right, I'll just go up and I'll comment this. Yeah. And then this time around, let's import our, okay. We'll still import this, but this will be changed later by the time our splash screen is ready. Yeah. Okay. So let's get started. I'm going to, okay, just wait for this to display my run. But while that is going on, let's move on to the splash. Let's see. Now splash screen, you'll be having a stateless widget. So that'll be STL. Okay. And then name this file splash screen. And yeah. So if our stateless widget is ready, all we need to do is return, let's say, scaffold. Let's change this. Right. So in our scaffold, we're going to just make the splash screen very simple. The splash screen is the first screen that displays on your mobile device when you're opening an application. Yes. So it could be text, it could be just an image, or it could be an image and text that's both together. So for this purpose, we're just going to do it text. All right. So we'll just produce a body, and in the body we'll have a center. In the center of that body we'll have a child and text widget. And that text widget, we're going to say, welcome to my movie app. Okay. Yeah. Then let's give it a style. Let's say text style. Font size. Font size. Let's say font size of, no, maybe 36. This will not be too large. Then let's say font weight or bold. Font weight. 0.3, we have a font weight of bold. Okay, and all right. I think that settles it for the splash screen. Yes. And so for this splash screen, we're going to introduce a logic, all right, because there are some splash screen that works such that automatically it goes to the next screen, all right? Or by the press of a button, you can navigate to the next screen. So I'm going to introduce a function just to take care of that navigation aspect. So now we're going to go above here. Yes. And let's say we have, let me make this clear, logic to get from splash on the screen. Yes. So have feature dot delayed. So more like introducing a timer, a duration. I should make this D, duration, and then seconds. Of course, it has to be seconds. You don't want your users waiting for a minute or an hour. for the splash screen to navigate to the next screen. That'll be very bad user experience, as I call it. So seconds, we just introduce like 3 seconds. So if we have 3 seconds, then we can have this and this, then introduce. Okay, so now inside this curly bracket, we're going to have navigator dot. Now you see navigator, there are a lot of arguments on this of pop and push named, pop until push. So basically you're going to be making use of this push and remove until, or push named and remove until, push replacement named, remove route, and so on. They all have their functions, basically what they do. Okay, so let's make use of replacement because we don't want the user to be going back to the splash screen again. After that screen is gone, when you click the back button, you shouldn't go back to the splash screen again. So we're going to use push replacement. This. What does it say? Replace the current route of the navigator that most tightly encloses the given context by pushing the given route and then disposing the previous route once the new route has finished animating in. Okay, so that is basically what it does. So, okay, these are introduce context, and then context, we're going to have material page route, and then a builder, construct a material page route whose contents are defined by builder. This, okay, so this builder is not going to be here. Rather, we'll have this, let's say content or context, rather, the content or context, build context. Okay, and then this, yeah. Now to the next screen. What is going to be our next screen? The next screen is going to be like a welcome screen or onboarding screen, rather. Onboarding screen. Although that screen is not available yet, so we need to go and work on that. That's why it's showing this error. We need to go and work on that. Okay, so now this is one navigation and this is a splash screen. So in 3 seconds, splash screen should get off the screen and navigate to the onboarding screen. So I'm not running that yet because some things are not ready. So let me go to the onboarding. This is supposed to be onboarding screen. So let me edit that name properly. Okay. All right. So in our onboarding screen, I want to bring up, let's see, something like this. I want to use something like this as our onboarding screen. Although onboarding screens take up to like 3 slides, more like when like you're swapping, you know, like swapping, that's onboarding screen. But this one, I'm just going to make use of one screen. because it has this sign in and register. So I'll just take this like a welcome screen, though it's an onboarding. Yes, because of these dots here. You can see these circular dots here. So this one happens to be on the last screen. That's why it's showing sign in register. But from the first to the second to the third, you'll see this picture changing as you swap or as you slide, changing. But that I'm just going to make use of one screen, yes, because of the time we have. But subsequent, maybe in when I get into state management proper, get X, then we'll now do onboarding screens to be able to swipe and you see how that works. Okay, so for this one, I might not really have this particular image, but let's see who can introduce something. I just want just something. Okay, so I'll bring this down, and then this should be here. All right. So this I'll just take this as a welcome screen. Okay, but though what you see here is an onboarding screen. Yeah, because we're only making use of one screen. Okay, so for our onboarding screen, we're going to have a stateless widget, right? So STL, then this one will be named onboarding. Okay. Now this is going to be quite a lot though, but let's see how fast we can go about this. Um, so we have a scaffold. We have a scaffold, fine. And then, of course, we're not having an ad bar looking at the image, but we have a background of let's make use of white. So background color colors dot white. Okay. And then after that we'll have our body, definitely our body. And then a column, let's see. Let's make use of a column. We'll have a column, then we'll have children. And inside of children we'll have an image dot rset. Of course, our link will be there. Then let's see, we have our image. The next thing we should have is our text. But let's have like a sized box to introduce a height between the image and the text. Let's give it a 10. And then come down and then introduce the text widget. Introduce the text widget. We can have what's written. We have teamwork or. Okay. Teamwork. Or. All right. So under teamwork or, say we have text style of font size. Let's give this 24 since it looks a little bit bold. And the unit font weight, yeah, it looks bold. So font weight, the bold. Okay, so since we have that, okay, so the next thing is another text. We have another text just beneath. So let's see if we can introduce a padding. Introduce a padding. And let's see, are we using, let's use all or symmetric? All, yeah, I think all works fine. Let's say, give it a 16, padding of 16. All right. We have a padding of 16, then we can now introduce the text. Have child, and then text. Okay. Let's see. Now we're having convalis vitae, or that's not. Okay. Let's see. Conval this vitae, then vitum justo ICULRS ID dot. Okay. Then we have this one now, although it's going to be long. So let's see, can introduce this down here. Grace or class RACUUGUE netos. Yes, does simple. Then of course we have another again. Various for C. This okay. ID dot. All right, so we're good with that. Of course, you can have it on a straight line if you want, or introduce a backward slash n. Yes, and bends. Let's see how this is going to look later onwards. Now, for these, we have let's have a row. As these are two buttons on a row. So let's introduce that. Let's give this piecing or the ring, not of course sized box heights. Let's give it let's say 30. Yeah, and then introduce a row. The children of elevated button. Elevated button. Because we have the unpressed, which carries a function or a logic or a call. Then if we have that, then we can have child. A child is going to carry the text, which is the signing button. Text. And inside I will have sign in. Okay. So if we have that, then we can give it a style. And then text style. It has a black background. So what we're looking at is background colors dots black. Yeah. Okay. No, this is the color for the text. So the text is white. So this has to be color. Okay. Then how do we now get that of the background? To get the background, you should have style. Okay, button style. Button style should be elevated button dot style. So style from one color. Background color is black. Colors to black. Okay, so this is supposed to, okay, the child argument should be last in the video construction. Try moving the argument to the end of the, okay, yeah, child property. So style goes up, child comes down, and we don't have that warning again, right? So the next thing now is to introduce this other button. So instead of writing all those long process again, why don't I just copy this, okay, and introduce it here and change this to register, okay, and the background color is purple. Yeah, let's give it a purple or deep purple. This look like it, this look like it, deep purple, the purple accent. Let's leave this one here. Let's see. The text color is white. Okay, wait. Oh, no. Register. The text color is white. Yes, always take note of this so that you don't then purple. The purple accent. All right. So that's done for the onboarding screen. If, yeah, of course. Then we'll go to our splash screen and see if we can import. Yes, we can see it now. Profile screen is onboarding screen. It's here. So we can actually import it. When I click it, that error is gone. Okay. So now one thing now is the unpressed. For the, let's go, because this is saved. This is saved. So in this, we're going to introduce our, for signing, navigator, or why don't I just go bring that, yeah, instead of, and this should make things faster and easier. So just bring this one, copy, come back to onboarding, and then place it here. All right, but instead of onboarding screen, we're going to have login, but this one goes to login screen. Then for this one too, same thing applies. paste this one goes to register screen. What did you name as a register? I think it was named as register form. Okay, so go and then do register form. Yeah, you can see it here. So now what makes this imported? We imported the library from validation register. Can you see it here? Same for the splash screen. We did here onboarding. So when you click in, if I should comment out that library, you can see it throws an error. So it said the method onboarding screen isn't defined for the type splash screen. It's actually defined, but not in this particular file. Okay, so you have to import it from this other file. That's why you have this up there, to show that you've actually imported it. All right. Then for the onboarding screen, same thing applies. But it's just that our login screen is not ready yet. But you can see that our register form is, of course, available. Yes. So now for our login screen, let's do, because if I should even just do this and just name it to login. Okay, because it's just login, register. Yeah, that works too. I can just come back here and just do login only. And I hover on it, click on this, you can see this is form validation login. So meaning it's the login is inside form validation folder, inside the profile folder. So I just click on it and go up, you can see we have our login, we have our register libraries. These have been imported. Okay, so there are no errors right now. Well, even though there's nothing in the login screen, because you won't really see anything here. Here is just a placeholder, it's a blank screen. So let's see if we can run work, but no, some things are not done or completed yet, because for our onboarding screen, there's need for an image here, and we need something like this. So let me see if I can just quickly go over to the net and let's see. Okay, instead of that, maybe I can just like what do I do now? Okay, I think I can do this. I'm going to just use sniping tool to just snipe the image only. So I'm going to have this like this. All right. Then I just sniped this now. Why am I not? Oh, shit, I don't have to go. Let me see. Pictures, screenshots. Let's see if we have it here. All right, here it is. So I'm going to like just rename this welcome. Take it out of here, bring it down to images. File Explorer. Put it here. So we have our welcome PNG file, and then still not image again. No, I don't think so. Okay, so that settles it. So images, just come here and do assets slash images slash welcome dot png. Yeah, okay. So that saves that there, and please, of course, need to be sure that. Okay, so assets have not been opened. All right, so take this out, take this out. Then you have assets. Okay. So let's try and run our program now to see what happens. But this time around, on our very main file, we're going to bring in the splash screen so that it starts with that first. Yeah, that's what we need. Yes, that's what we need. So let's do this and run on this. Okay, so okay, Bolanle Wahab, I can see you here. The assignment you submitted, you need to do that again because you submitted a pasted work, more like source code pasted on a document. That's not what I need. I need the APK file, all right, of your profile app. I want to install your app in my device and see how it looks. Okay, so you need to get back to your task and do that. And very important when you're submitting files, although you will not be submitting to Google Docs anymore, you will now be submitting to GitHub. And another very interesting online emulator is so, and you need to be very careful about your submission because if you encounter errors, definitely you have to do that to ensure that your work successfully gets to me and I can access it properly. All right, so Bolale, if you're listening, yes, that is for you. Please take note. Okay, John Oluwadurotimi. I don't know. Have you done your recent assignment or you're yet to submit stage 1 task?
Yeah, good afternoon, boss.
Yes, good afternoon.
Yeah, I'm still on the tax. I've submitted the first one. I'm still on the tax to the app stuff. So I will submit it by God's grace this week.
Okay, all right, that's good. What's wrong with my VS Code? Okay, well, that's fine. This thing just will start. Support. Let me close distance. Zero, zero. Okay. So, okay. I think I encountered something earlier now, just now, just now. All right, so we've done our splash screen, we've done our onboarding screen or welcome screen, and then we've not done home screen. We have a register and then login. Login is not ready yet. So what is left now is login and home screen, and then with their specific logic or function, because of course you need to introduce functions, methods. Come on, come on. So for the login screen, something we're actually going to look into. Let's see, you can have that as okay. So we'll have this as our login screen. Let me close. I want to close some of this. Shouldn't delay my time. Come on. So for this login screen, it's actually similar to the register screen, right? So what I'm going to do is that I'm just going to copy what you have on the register and bring it to the login and then make some edits, remove the name, business name, and yes, and then just leave email and password, and then introduce this forgot password. Although even though we're not doing a screen for that, then of course the button, and then bring in these icons. Of course, you have this one. I'll just change the text from login, from register now to login now. Okay, so that's what I'm basically going to do. Yeah, I don't need block language now. Come on. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to run this. Okay, so I need to run that. Then what am I having up here? Okay, I don't need this though. So while we're expecting it to launch, though I don't want to touch some of this base code. So I'm going to, for now, this very app is not connected to or has not been pushed to GitHub, all right? Because one of the very important major reason why you should have a GitHub account is so that, for instance, you have projects, portfolios, mobile applications that you built over time. In case maybe you happen to encounter loss of memory, your laptop, or blue screen, or your hard drive crashed, yes, or something just happened and you lost the files. Because of the account, what you have on GitHub, you can always retrieve your project from GitHub and continue from where you stop. So it's not like a total loss. When you now have a new laptop or you now get a new drive, you can pull from GitHub, see your project again to run it and start working on it. So that's one major important of having a GitHub account, a GitHub profile. And another reason is because as a mobile developer, when you start applying for internships, for jobs, job roles as a mobile developer, they need to, in a way, have access to see your repo, your GitHub account, to see what you've actually built, what projects you've built over time. If it's a fintech app, if they want to see how you wrote your code, if your codes are, especially for companies that are looking out for very detailed and organized person who applies, there's the word now they call it, best practices. They can see that from the code you write. Okay, so that's another thing again. Then aside that, yes, you can, yeah, I think that's basically what you need. Very important. Okay, so let's go to screen. It's running now. Okay, can you see this? It's not looking too good here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make some adjustments. So, but first of all, let me reload this so that you see how it started. First of all, it starts with a splash screen. Welcome to my movie app. And then this. So that's for like 3 seconds. 3 seconds and it just moves. All right, so let's go to our splash screen. The splash screen, I think this is too much for that. Let's make this 24 since it's bold. And then text center, let's see, movie app. I'm going to introduce this and save and auto load. I'm going to reload this again. Or restart rather. Okay, welcome to my movie app. Now I can see that, so there should be something to be able to text align. Text line dot center. Okay, then we save this, then restart again. Let's see a splash screen. So this is how you actually test your work to see that. All right, so it's, even though this center widget makes it be at the center of your screen, but then this text align text at center makes your text properly, like align it in a center, align it in a center position. All right, so you can see that's what I did already. Then now move to the onboarding screen. Now you can see that our image is almost going off the screen. We have our teamwork and then all of this written, and okay, and this is towards the, and our button is not showing. So let's start from below. Below we have, okay, we have our white button here. Here is going to be white. Okay, so our text color ought to be white. Once you click save and reload, it comes on. Okay, so, and so since this is usually at the end, so we're going to look at it and see how we can place it on or at the center instead of close to the edge. So we're going to introduce something just after the row before the children. And what is that? It's going to be, where is our row? Okay, this contains the buttons. Yeah, so this row here will bring in main as its alignment dots space evenly. Let's see what that does. If I should save and I should load. Okay, now if you look at our buttons are curved border radius actually. Okay, so from the image, let's see. We still have that image, you know. But anyway, I'm not sure it has this coverage, so we'll have to attend to that. But let's get the text. So on the text, I think crass, the second statement is supposed to begin from below. So what if we have, let's see, do I make this center text align? Texts align, yeah. It's moving slow. I don't know where it's supposed to be. Okay, it's not. Okay. Let's align that center. See what happens. Okay. So I have to bring this. See what happens next. Okay. And then same for this one too. Okay. So we have that. Yeah. Then let's see. I think here we're supposed to actually have let me see, it's supposed to be able to get, no, not here. Style, style, because I'm not sure if introduced anything to that. Then we'll have font, probably product. So, okay. Anything else? Okay. So that does that, and then our image. Okay, so our image is just definitely inside a column, so it has to be like a spacing. So let's see. I'm going to introduce like a safe area wrap with a safe area. Okay. And then another way to do that is introduce a size box of height. Let's give it let's say 30. That should do the trick. Okay, it brings it down. Yeah, so we have something similar to that very image right here. Okay, so this is 1 o'clock. Let's see how we can speed things up. And for this button, we're going to introduce what we call for the radius. Now, for this register form, if I should click on this, should it work? Yeah, it works. It works. It definitely works. Okay. This happened because I need to reload this. Okay. All right. So I save this. Now, I don't need to use push replacement here, do I? Well, since it's an onboarding, I don't actually go to onboarding screen, but I'll make an exception of this. So this will just be push. This will just be push. Same thing applies to this. Okay. Then I'll have to introduce a back button on this very screen. So even though on this screen we didn't really have a back button, but let's see. Get to that. Let me just come up with the login screen. So I said for the login screen, I'm going to have, okay, if not practically almost all of this. Yeah. I'm going to copy this, copy all of this. Bring it to the login screen. This should make work easier. So this is stateful widgets. Okay. Of course, we can also use this, but just change this one off. And bring in here. Okay. So that. So if I should go to login, wait, let me see. What's the okay? I've changed it. So if I should click this, it takes me to this pattern. Now let's make some editing. I'm going to go over to name business phone. That is from, no, not here. Name. So we don't need name text field. We don't need business name text field. We don't need phone number text field. We only just need email and password. So taking this out. Okay, so if I should save and auto load, all right. So we just have email, password. Then sign up should now be login. Let's look at our image very well. Will now be sign in. So will now be sign in. And then don't have an account, register now. Here will be don't. Okay. The reason for this is because of that should do the trick. Does it? No. Something we need for that. We could fix this. Okay. Okay. So what changed? The double quote changed. Instead of using a single quote at the end, change it to double quotes. Then introduce this single apostrophe here, because apostrophe also looks like quote. Yeah, on the keyboard. So here we'll be having don't have an account, register now. Register now. Okay. So it will have that. What next? We have our email or password. Then up on the text, we have let's sign you in. Here it says let's register account. So let's sign you in. Let's sign you in. Right? Then we'll have welcome back. But here we have hello user, you're having a grateful journey. Welcome back, you have been missed. You have been missed. Missed. Okay. Then here says welcome back. The comma. Okay. Then comma is in between. Then you. This you will have this and a capital Y. All right. Okay. So that's a to start. Okay. We have email, we have password. Okay, but just note that this only takes validation, not like when you register, you now use the same. You can actually use any password and any email here, but as long as it's validated, it's not stored. That is, your credentials are not stored. Okay, so I still want to do something about this eye. I don't like the fact that I'm not having that there. And I don't want to introduce a package yet or a dependency. Instead, we'll have to make use of icons. Let me see. If I can have icons, I can pick one or two from. No, let's leave that for now. So, okay, we have our forgot password. Forgot password text. Forgot password should be beneath the password text field. Now the password text form field ends here. And then introduce a sized box first. The height, not so much height. Let's say 10 or 5, but we'll see what we can do with that. Now, forgot password is on a row. So introduce a row widget, and then children, inside that children will have text. Inside text will have forgot password. It's asking a question. Yeah. So remember, we want to take this to the end. So give it a main as alignment main dot end. Let's see that. Give it a question. Let's see. Okay. We'll come up here. So row main as alignment text. That. Okay. So we have that. Now come over down to this divider. We have a divider there, and then icons. So we need to bring it in before this row here. Yeah. Another way to actually go about this is let's see. You can use align widget. Okay. Instead of a row, in place of a row, you can use align widget and its arguments, of course. So here we're going to have let's see. Here, looking at this, you have a divider. Now, don't make use of a row, more like expanded child row. Okay. Expanded, create a widget that expands a child of a row, column, or flex so that the child fills the available space along the flex widget's main axis. Okay, so if you're actually looking for some of these widgets, what they do, you can just hover over the widget and you read it and see what it does. And then you have children. Inside these children, you have a divider. This divider should have a width of, let's see, okay, thickness, height. We have end indent and indents. This indent is where it starts from. So let's give it a 20 and see. And then end indent, let's say 20. No. This one shouldn't come since it's only having one. And then let's look at thickness. We look at the thickness, that should be 1. Let's give it a 1. Okay. This. So when you always use commas, it helps to arrange your work properly. Yeah, well, it's no longer enough, that's fine. So, but here definitely, anonymous bring this one. Then we'll have text, and that text should carry or. Okay. Um, Comma is already there. Okay, this. Then I'm going to bring in the divider again. And after all. All right, so we have this or, and then henceforth we now have we now have the size box, size, size. Okay, give it a height, let's say of another 10, and then bring in a row. Bring in a row, and then we'll have icons. Children, we're going to have icon, 3 icons. So icons dot, do we have G mobile data? Okay, let's say do the size of 14. That does it. Since there's a comma here, we're going to have this extra. This extra. So we're having is a comma, bracket. Okay. Yeah, so we have this here. Yeah. So this is going to be, let's say, Facebook. We have Facebook. Yeah, we have Facebook. Then we have our pool. We should have our pool. Okay. All right, so our login should be ready now. Well, we have an error. When a column is in a parent that does not provide a finite height constraint. For example, which is saying a vertical scrollable to try to shrink wrap each children along the vertical axis, setting a flex on a child, okay, if you're using expanded, in case that child is to expand to fill the remaining space in the vertical direction, okay. I think this is because I introduced the expanded widget. Let's see, what do I do? This first. See. Okay. So we have, let's sign you in. Welcome back. You have been missed. Okay. We have email, password, forgot password, sign in. Now with this, okay, starting with this, let's have our name as this. main dot space evenly. Let's see what that does to the icons. Okay. They're actually two very spaced apart, so let me see. We can do center. Okay, and then probably introduce sized box of width. Let's say 10. And this plus 2. Save and see. Okay, spacing is a little bit, so I have 10 here, I have 10 here. Then this all. Okay, where are you? This is supposed to be in a, because it's not showing the variable. See the indent? If I do 60, what happens? Okay, so indent is going to be as long as, let's say, 120, and introduce an indent. Okay. Indent, let's make this 200. It's too much. 160. Okay. Yeah, center. So let's say okay, this gonna be as its center. Okay, so center, then to reduce this 120. Okay, all right. So now, but then, okay, we need a size bar. Should I say wrap the size box, and then the height 10. We can times 2, and bring it to 40. And then bringing down expanded now. Expanded. See, does this work now? Still doesn't. Shows an error. There should be something, another widget that takes care of that. Let me see. think if we have this expanded, we might not actually have a need for a row. Or rather, okay. Let's bring since we have the expanded widget outside, let's bring it in. Okay, let's bring it in. Expanded, okay. Let's bring it in this time around so that it houses, let's see. Okay. So we brought it in. I'm going to do the same for this. And bring the other one. Okay. So what do we do now? It's having, okay, let's wrap this text inside padding. Let's see. We'll wrap this inside padding and give it all. So let's use symmetric and give it a horizontal of 8. Let's see what that does. Okay, so indents, thickness of 1. Should this be size box? No, not this. See. Okay, well, let's bring it at the top then. So let's bring this, copy this, paste here. So now my indents. Okay. This is end indent, not. Let's see how that works. Okay, so we'll bring this to 16. Doesn't work. 40. Okay. Oh, I think I need to reduce that. It's too much. Let's just bring 60. Okay. Let's take it out. Let's give it 20. Okay. Let's make it 10. Okay. All right. So we have an indent. Maybe we can actually make this thicker. Let's give it a 2. Okay. So it's more visible. This from the image is black. So dark. So let's get this. Let's see a better thickness. See 4. No, that don't make that. No. Let's leave it at 2. And then bring in the colors dot black. Okay. So that do this too. All right. So okay. So now you can see 2 is actually way bigger. So let's bring it down to 1. say overload. Okay, awesome. Now we have that. So since we have that, is way similar to what we have on this very image. Yeah. Okay. Maybe the spacing here is quite much. Then here the text is dark, like very dark, although looking at, okay, here we have email, phone, and on username. Email, phone, and username. Yeah. Okay. So here we have is 132. So let me see how fast I can come up with this. Yeah. So email we have email. So then we have the email, phone, and username. Email, phone, and username. Right. So so that's that. Okay, so our sign-in button now should take us to where? A sign-in button should take us to okay, then press submit. So since we actually call this, we have to go back up here and then work on this guy here. We're going to bring in that navigation. Let's go to apply screen. To see, come back to login. Is it login now? Yeah. And login, bring it here. Okay. But this time around, we're going to our home screen. Okay, but we don't have our home screen ready. So let's get to that ASAP. Now, home screen, we're going to have, let's see. On the home screen, let's make this a stateful widget. I need to be really, really fast to finish up. Home screen, okay. So that does that. So on our home screen, we can have scaffold. Okay. Set a scaffold. We have let's just put an app bar. During the bar, we can come to that, but the major focus is the body. So we'll have body, then we'll have bottom navigation bar, bottom navigation bar. Items, yeah. This item is going to like, let's see, something I need to do to really set this up proper. Okay, so in terms of this, since we have our bottom navigation bar, items is going to consist of an array of bottom navigation bar item and an icon. Okay. icons dot home. See, okay, home. Then have a label. I have to label the icon, label it home. Okay. Then let's see. We can actually duplicate this in several. Let's have about 4 of them. This, this, this. And then here, let's see, we just have, here's going to be profile and profile, okay. Here's going to be person. Do we have person? Yeah, a person. Yeah, here we can have, I don't know if we have anything like collections, okay. And here we can have, let's say, do we have anything like movie? Okay, we have movie. All right, so yeah, it's gonna be movies. Yeah, it's gonna be collection. Okay. Now, what I just did here is that I just created a bottom navigation bar. The navigation bar that appears at the bottom, like this, something like this. All right. But these are now having icons, your home icon, movie icon, collection icon, person icon. Now, this label stands for the text that represents each icon, so that when a user wants to go to his profile, he just sees it and clicks on profile icon, and then navigates to the profile screen. When he wants to go back home, he sees the home icon, clicks on the home icon, and navigates to the home icon. All right, so that's that for this. But then let's see. Should we have bar? Yeah, we can have a bar. Just maybe like do the title, the text, and my movie. Okay, styling. No. All right, so now we're going to introduce logic, especially to this home screen, which is very important. This one we can come here and import, since we already have our home screen now. We say it, import it, it's gone. So what you see, the library appears here. So this is saved, and then this is saved. So let's see if I should naturally click on sign in, it should throw error. So I'm going to like, let me see. Let's do this. Okay, let's sign in and see. Okay, so registration successful. We have at the top my movie app, but we don't have our bottom navigation bar. Why? Let's see, something is missing. You're supposed to have, okay. Yeah, pages index, pages index. So if we, let me bring this down, and then, well, first of all, I'm just gonna like initialize, like declare, what do you call it now? Variables, okay? So we'll come here just before the widget build override, and then int job selected index. Now, there was something I said about index, that it always starts from 0. Yes, it always does start from 0. So now this is declaring or initializing 0 to selected index. This selected index represents when a button is tapped, when an icon, any of this icon is selected. Is 0, is 1, this 2, and this 3. Even though you have 4 items, naturally you count them as 1, 2, 3, 4. But when you're dealing with index in programming, it starts with 0. Okay, so we just declared this now. Now let's go over to define our pages. So we'll have final, let's say final, we're going to have a list. Now, I talked about list too. Yeah, you can remember me really well. We'll have widgets. These widgets, you're going to have pages. And this list is going to have a square bracket, and then we'll bring in the pages. And this page is going to be, let's say, we'll have a center child, then text, home, page, home page. We'll just have a text here. It's going to indicate that the icon you clicked represent the screen. So if you click on the home screen icon, you'll see a home page text at the center here. When you click a profile icon, you see a profile page text written here. All right, so that's what I'm doing for each of the pages. So we will have that. Maybe we can just give it a style so that we can multiply that text style. Text style, say font size 24 will do. Yeah, bring in this and then bring in this. Okay, so let's replicate this in here. Yeah, so we'll have that. We're usually having about 3 more. So home page, yeah, it's going to be next, it's going to be collection page. Next one is going to be, no, this is supposed to be collection page. Why this is movie page. Then this will be profile page. Okay, right. So once we have that, then we can now do a set state. Okay, let's say void, bring in a method of untapped, let's say or on item tapped, on item tapped. So if we have an on item tapped, then we'll have set state, and then selected index, this variable here, setting in here, and then equal to index. Let's see. Okay, I need to bring in the parameters int and index. Okay, So if we have this, what next? What next should be body. So in our body, we should have the pages now, because it has to display the pages. Yeah, that's a list of pages. And then we bring in that selected index. All right. Okay, so now we're not having errors on this, meaning there's something that's supposed to come in before this. So we'll come back down and then bring in bottom navigation bar. Okay, let me see. Okay, arranges it properly. So now we have our body. It displays the pages with the bottom navigation bar with all of these icons. So let's hot reload. Save on hot reload. Yeah, we have a home page. Here's a home page. But this thing I'm not sure why. Why are my icons on my sure? Wow. Okay. That's because we only applied these argument items and this, because there are many more. Let's see. We have current index. Current index is going to be the selected index. Okay. Then we have the on top. Let's see. On top. We should have on top. Okay. Good. Now we'll now bring in that on item tab, that method. This method, you can see it's not called yet. That's not been referenced. Okay, so we're going to call it here on top, an item tab. Okay, so if you call that in, then next thing is, I think this should why what's going on? Selected, yeah, selected item color. There's no selected item color, the colors, but see. Stable on selected item color. Let's give it gray. Okay. Then what else again am I missing? What else am I missing? Is the font size too small? Couldn't be too small. Pages, home page. Yeah. Oh, background. Okay. No wonder. I was not saying it. Okay. Background. Let's see. Let's bring in a background of black. Let me bring in a background of black. Background color. Colors. Dots. Black. Yeah, black. Or rather, okay, this is black. Because I think we can introduce colors to the icons themselves. Yeah, because they're not actually having, if I should do, yeah, let's just bring this and see. Okay, so we introduce the background color. Now we have a navigation bar. Can you see it? So if I should click on this, it takes me to a movie page. I click on this, takes me to collection page. And I click on this, takes me to profile page. So I think this way your assignment is actually going to come in, but looking at the time, let's see. I think it's something that I believe you guys can actually do. That profile screen you guys worked on, I want to see it on this profile screen. Yes, I want to see it on this profile screen. I want to see how you're going to implement it so that this profile page, this text is no longer displaying the profile text, profile page, like a text of a profile page, but it's now displaying your profile. Okay. Well, I wonder how those without profile who have not submitted yet will be able to achieve this. They'll have to first of all do that, because that first task or that last task is needed to complete this. All right, and more. So you have your profile, you have home, you have movies, and you have collection. All right, so this is what you have. And of course, you can add background to your background. If you want to add more things, okay, you can also add more things. So there's a way you can actually do that. Yeah, so this is selected item color. When it's blue, yes. Unselected stays gray. Okay. Let's see what else. What else? What else? What else? Yeah, I think that is it. So you can see from the splash screen. So if I should reload this now, or restart this rather, should start this. Yeah, welcome to my movie app. Wait for 3 seconds here. Now, here, if I click this, it takes me to sign up. Now, this register now is supposed to take me to sign up. Okay. Let's see. Register now will take me to sign up. Where are you? This is login screen. So in the login screen, we have down. Okay, I think it should be here. Material page home screen. Okay, this takes you to home screen. But we need that one that has this register now. So this register now, I'm going to bring an inkwell. Do I use inkwell? Yeah, inkwell. And then introduce an on top. Okay, so this on top should take me to go to splash screen and copy this navigator. Okay, come down to login screen and then place it here. But this time around, I'm not doing replacement, just push. And then this should take me to register. Register form. Okay, and then I'm going to do same for the register form. I'll wrap this in a widget called inkwell. Okay, and bring it on top, and then introduce this for this time around. It's leading to login. All right, so save and save. Okay, so if I should click on register now, it should take me to register screen. If I should click on login, it says already have an account. That is, if you already have an account, go to login. I click login, it takes me back to login. Yeah. Can you see that now? So this is how navigation works. If I should click register now, it takes me to register. Take this off. Then when you try to sign in, of course, you are met with validations. we go to login. Yeah, so just that these icons are not really representing well, especially for this G. So that's why I prefer to import icons from Figma files, since they are actually designed there. Yeah, it actually makes your work look colorful. All right, so we've come to the end of this class, so I'm going to stop recording. And so at least I went from scratch doing the splash screen down to the onboarding screen and then to the login screen, because I had to copy the register, bring it to the login, and remove what not needs to be there. Then the home screen, everything from scratch down to where we have the home screen and our navigation bar. Okay, so let me stop this recording. Let's see.